Let's make a jig. This jig will be a split tail jig. It's kind of a challenging jig for me to tie because the feathers are so hard to keep apart, and it's a little awkward the way I have to use the thread. So what we'll be doing is a 1-ounce sickle hook, 1 ounce, 1/8 ounce sickle hook, hot flow pink neck hackle, which I already have cut some, and we'll be using moonlight chenille for my chenille. So let's get this mounted up and started. I'll also be using black Danville's 210 thread. I think each time I tie this, I do something completely different. But it's been a very successful jig for catching crappie. I've noticed as soon as it hits the water, the feathers tend to just collapse, and they end up looking like a normal jig then. But as soon as it comes out of the water, they pop out to the sides again. So my goal here is to put this on each side and then separate them with the thread after they're tied on. Seems to work the way I do it, but it's not a very graceful way to tie a jig. I've got feathers cut. I'm putting 5 on each side. You probably could go with 4. Cut them all to the same length. Turn this just a little bit. Threads spinning in my hand here. There we go. Got to rewind my thread. It got loose at a very inopportune time. Okay, so now we've got feathers on both sides. I'm going to bring this up through. Now I also learned that if I don't tie this off, they spin. So you could either use glue right now, but if I whip it, then I've got tied off to a point where, let's see if we can grab some of these threads. Might need my toothpick. This is where I said it's not very graceful in the way I'm tying it. So there we've got the split tail. We'll put on the, I probably could do that a little better, you think? Let's back that off a little bit. Maybe that'll be a little better than what I had. Do the fish care if it's perfectly split? I don't think so. Do I care? Yes, I'd rather have it perfect. Now we'll get the chenille on. Like I said, this is a little more challenging than just straight putting feathers on and a little bit of chenille. But it's also been a very productive jig for me. I just got to get the tying down a little better so I can be a little more efficient at it. Add just a touch of hard as nails. Just to hold that last thread on. Being careful not to get it into the eye. And we pulled some of the thread back, but that'll get glued down. So there we have a there we have a split tail. And I know when it's in the water, it probably collapses down, but comes out of the water, they're sticking straight out.